Wichita is it's important. It's the biggest city in Kansas, though it's funny because people there will tell you that it is not a city, it is a town, which seems slightly absurd considering how large it is. It's about the same size as the greater Salt Lake area if you include a lot of the suburbs and stuff. So it's huge, and you meet people there and like, no, it's a town. And people there actually do kind of act and kind of live life as if it is a really large town. I served in 2 different areas. They're both on the east side. So Wichita has 2 stakes in it, one on the west side and one on the east side. And I served in 2 areas that were both on the east. I served in the Andover ward and in the Harrison Park ward. Harrison Park was it was my first area, and it was really unique in the fact that it had an Air Force base as a part of it that was actually part of our area. So that was really neat. The couple times we got to go on there and just like interacting with Air Force families and really like getting to like understand them as well. That part of Wichita also included the largest ghetto, and it was notorious throughout all of Kansas. It's called Plainview for its sketchiness. And so it was kind of entertaining when you'd be talking to people and they're like, don't go there at night. And you're like, okay, we'll try. And so it was just, that was kind of special. It was one of those things that was like, I chose not to tell my mom that was in my area, especially considering how much time we spent there. But it was something I definitely know that we were like protected, because it was not necessarily the safest area to be in, but it was really eye-opening to be able to see how hard life can be for people, and the fact that it's like we really are so blessed in many ways. And from many of the homes that we come from, they're very, very well off compared to what many of these families, what their conditions were like. So that was very humbling. And then the second area that I served in Wichita, Andover, it had the mission office, was actually the church building in it, so that was really interesting. And then it included the city of Andover, which was just a little bit outside of Wichita. And that was very different, especially considering my first area in Wichita, because Andover was kind of a little bit more of the high end. There was a lot of young, well-off doctors and lawyers and people who worked for Koch. A lot of people that work, Koch being K-O-C-H. So that's because that's based out of Wichita, and so there was a lot of people that worked for them, and it was just really interesting to see the diversity and difference between Wichita and like even just like some of those nicer areas like Andover or Bel Air. A lot of the areas have cars, or at least part-time cars, and Wichita is no exception to that. We did use bikes to some extent, just depending on how much you use your car, how spread out your area was, things like that. We did not use the public transportation system because it is not very good in Wichita, and so it was very unproductive, because mostly if you wanted to go anywhere, you had to go like into the center of Wichita and then back out to wherever you wanted to go, and so it didn't work very well to use it as missionaries, because usually that would involve going through like 3 other people's areas if you were to go from one stop to another.